What's up guys, Americana back here with another video. When Total 2 breaks out, alt season isn't just on the way, it's already here. Here's what happens to your altcoins when this signal appears and why it only comes up every 4 years. So let's get into the video. Alright guys, famous, messy ass Americana chart. But I love these charts. I think having multiple coins on chart is one of the best ways to visualize relationships in crypto. And it doesn't even matter, you can look at like economic data like this, whatever you want to look at, but all these like crazy assumptions of this is correlated and this means this and blah 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 blah. And it's like, guys, if you just put this on the same chart, I know you haven't looked at a chart, because if you put it on the same chart, it's not what's showing up. So super easy, fast way to disprove anybody, or help prove your own thesis, or look into things yourself. But that's not what this video is about. I said we're going to talk about Total 2, and we're going to talk about it. So let's get into it. Up top, candles, we got Total 2. Underneath, I think I can show you this to you. Yep, I can. Reddish magenta, we have Ethereum. Light purple right here, we have Solana. Dark purple, we have Cardano. And we have Chainlink in green. So actually, I'll leave this up so you guys can refer back to it. But what happens when we get a Total 2 breakout? All right, so simple enough. Let's look at Total 2 breakout last cycle. And we'll add this as like, we'll do like yellow here. Warning, 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 Total 2 breakout. And then, warning, 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 top's coming in, right? So obviously you see this stuff trends together. It's the reason we call it alt season. Okay, altcoins do well alt season, but this stuff trends together. All these things top out at similar times. If we don't get this double top, then Solana doesn't go on to make a new high. Cardano probably doesn't go on to make a new high. But we're simply looking at it like this. We don't have time for this double top this cycle. Maybe I've mentioned that. I can't remember if I've only mentioned that in Discord, but yeah. Anyways, we don't have time to go out and double top. But the point is, all these things kind of top together, and things get insane when Total 2 breaks out, as you can see here. I've been calling this alt season really from like back in here, because I had an understanding we were on this final leg. But even we'll just throw a line like somewhere down in here where we could start getting hopeful on the altcoin market. And again, you just see the same thing, coins trending up with strength all together. Okay, so that is what you can expect from a Total 2 breakout. I wanted to show you this to you guys, right? I've said Total 2 multiple times, I've shown it multiple times, but really, like anything, it's going to take me saying it 100 times for you guys to really understand the importance of it, and it's going to take you guys seeing it too. So be paying attention to it, set some alerts up here on Total 2, be on the lookout, and get excited, right? When this breaks out, yes, we likely get some sort of back test or dip after. That's okay. But when we finally have the strength to break through, right, time to celebrate. Yes, we're going into the final phases, but it's been a long 4 years, and we're back here and we made it happen. So definitely a cause for celebration. All right, so the other thing I mentioned of like, why does this only happen every 4 years? I don't think it necessarily has to happen 4 years, right? If we saw Total 2 break out in here, I'd be saying the same thing. But more so the point of like, you can't hide this stuff. That's what I really enjoy about crypto, is there's nothing that's hidden. There's no data I can pay for to get better knowledge. Yes, there's market insight stuff. I pay for like Masari and things like that because I want to see like on-chain data aggregated in a nice, pretty way. But when it comes to the price data, when it comes to market cap data, when it comes to this index data like Total 2, anybody can look at this. And what is Total 2 by definition? It's an aggregation of multiple altcoins into one single market cap, so we can track when it's doing better than previous cycles or performing well, and things tend to trend together, right? When you're in an uptrend in Total 2, obviously you see down here, you can expect some sort of movement upwards out of whatever basket of altcoins. But what I really like about it is, it's like I said, it's something you can't hide, right? When we get a breakout on Total 2, you can't hide it. It means that a lot of coins are taking off. It means the market is getting hot. And just like any index ever, if we look at the Dow Jones, and the Dow Jones Industrial Index is breaking out into new all-time highs, let's say it's been a 2-year bear market and is finally getting to new all-time highs again, you can assume that a lot of coins are participating in that trend. This is a fact across any index. If you look at, it doesn't even have to be like an index. It can be a not a hedge fund, some sort of mutual fund or some sort of group of assets like some sort of Vanguard fund. Doesn't matter who's building it, right? When that fund is breaking through 2-year highs, 4-year highs, whatever it is, it's because the assets in that fund are performing well by definition to get it back to that point. So I just tie that into Total 2 expanding, undeniably meaning that alt season is here. You actually don't need to look at anything else. I don't need to look at Bitcoin dominance to know that alt season is on the verge. If I'm patient enough to wait for it to get back to this point to buy, or buy altcoins or do whatever, and that's my strategy, I could do it, right? If I could only look at one single thing to call alt season to the day even, I'm going to look at Total 2. I have an idea on the way up, and I have things I can look at to kind of allude to, hey, we might be going for that push on Total 2, right? That's what I was doing all in here if you guys have been around a while or seen other videos. But now that I'm here, man, I'm pretty much an open book. When alt season breaks out, the market is going to turn the fuck on. And it's not deniable. It's math, it's markets, it's things like that. And the information is right here for you guys to see. And I'm making this video. I know I've talked about it, but I haven't, laid my stake, laid my conviction down on something like Total 2, right? I haven't necessarily done that. That's what this video is serving as a purpose. And I want to kind of have a call to action on you guys of like, I'm really going to pay attention to how coins are reacting when Total 2 breaks out. I'm really going to pay in-depth attention to what's happening in the market when we do get this breakout, so I can use that next cycle. Because like I said, it could be 4 years away. People forget. People honestly truly forgets things like sentiment and feeling and how the market was maneuvering and what it felt like, what it smelled like, what it tasted like, right? That's how in tune you have to be with this stuff. And so I want you guys to really take a good mental picture, a good mental note of what's happening around the entire market as we're in and around a Total 2 breakout, because you guys will say, holy shit, Americana, like I didn't, I believed you. You said Total 2 is going to break out. My altcoins are going to do well. I believed you and it made sense. But like I saw it happening on a coin to coin level or on a, like more micro level. I saw it in my portfolio, how my portfolio performance changed. I saw it in the sentiment of the kind of posts I was seeing online. I saw it in, what Bitcoin was doing. I was seeing topping patterns while Total 2 broke out, same things I've been saying, but take note of that, for real. Take note of that. This is the kind of the part of the cycle where like you want this etched into your memory, because some of you guys aren't going to take profits. Some of you guys are not going to walk away from the cycle having made money. Some of you guys are going to trade your way down the entire bear market. And some of you guys will get it successful on the first time, but if you don't get it successful, it's not the end of the world. You can always take advantage of next cycle. You can always make it back. You can also always do what you need to do to get the knowledge to make sure that stuff never happens to you again if you're given the opportunity. But one of the only ways you're going to do that is if you're taking mental notes along the way. I advise, clients and stuff like that, and in my course, to actually take physical notes. Take once a week, daily, whatever it is. How do you feel about the market? What are you seeing? What's the dynamic? What is this? What is that? To reference back to. But at least bare minimum, you got to take mental notes. Every single day, you got to take a mental note of some sort of dynamic showing up. Because I promise, even if it's 4 years down the road, a similar thing is going to happen. So this video was a little bit more of a rant. I had my little, visual on what I wanted you guys to see. This is really ultimately like a call out to you guys. Like, please watch the dynamic, watch how things shift. And again, I'm laying my conviction on it. I'm willing to lay my conviction on it. If Total 2 breaks out and we don't get an alt season, yeah, I look retarded. I look like an idiot. And I'm okay with that. I'm fully okay with that, just because I have an understanding of how this works. But, I'll lay my hat on it. But really, I'm pointing you guys in this direction. If I'm pointing you guys to look at it, it's because it's important. It's because it's super, super important. So please take those mental notes. Please take it seriously. Because in 4 years, if you're still around, if you're still in crypto, it's going to come up again, and it's going to be important to have the conviction of what happens next on a Total 2 breakout. And you might even be able to make some plays on your own with that experience. But let's go ahead and wrap it up. All right, guys, that is all for this video. As always, appreciate you guys, especially now more than ever. 1,000 subscribers. So you guys will see me say a quick thank you in every one of this week's videos. I appreciate you guys. Not stopping anytime soon. I'm gonna be here for you guys. I'm trying to figure out ways, I can do more, post more, provide more value to you guys, given time constraints that I have. But we'll get those things worked out in time. But I think the biggest thing is, I'm going to be consistent for you guys. I'm going to show up, not going anywhere. And for the people that I continually see, in comments and in likes and things like that, whether it's short form or long form or whatever, I always appreciate it. I always appreciate your support. Even people who, maybe they're being critical or they have questions or, they want to poke holes in what I'm talking about, more than welcome as well. I think we all get better when we can back up our own ideas, when we can back up our own thesis. And I've found holes in my thesis from friends or colleagues or commentators, asking me questions, or somebody just asking a genuine, wholehearted question of like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I think this could be it. And I'm like looking at it. Oh, damn, it might be true, right? Weird little rant there. But anyways, I say all that to say I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Make sure you check out my other videos this week. Make sure you keep subscribing. Smack the like, comment, whatever you got to do. Catch you in the next one. Peace.